This past weekend, we offered a retreat called Abiding in Refuge. Some of you I know were there and on an online retreat, and nice to be back with you practicing again. And we've had this thing we call sheltered in, and so this is an investigation of what is really being sheltered in. And so the retreat's theme was sheltering in the Dharma. And I just want to invite you with these practices, how much they mean to you. So traditionally, the triple refuge is the refuge of the Buddha, and then the Dharma, and the Sangha. And the Buddha refers to the historical Buddha as one understanding, and Siddhartha Gautama, who awakened, experienced enlightenment, the Dharma, the teachings of Four Noble Truths, marks of existence, four foundations of mindfulness. The Sangha is the community of enlightened beings, and of course we are part of that community or lineage that is dedicated to awakening. And so broadly you could say that the Buddha literally means awakened. So you could broadly just say it's taking refuge in awakening, and whatever awakening means to you. And the Dharma is the teachings of Dharma, the teachings of the way things are, teachings of wisdom, compassion, of suffering, of its causes, path to peace. The Sangha, the noble community that supports each other to awaken. And particularly in this time of sheltering in, this just feels like this is like a really wonderful shelter to be sheltered in. A refuge is a place of safety. I shared with some of you that in 1996, I nearly died of a very serious bacterial infection called necrotic fasciitis, more commonly called flesh-eating bacteria. And very fortunate that I survived and didn't have an amputation. And when I was told of what was going on, I was in the hospital and that I would have to have emergency surgery, and that it was possible that I could die or have my leg amputated. And I was going into septic shock, my kidneys were failing, and they kept on asking about my breath because they were concerned that I was going to go into respiratory arrest, but I kept on saying breathing in, breathing out. But, it was a very scary moment. I'll never forget being on the gurney and waving and saying, "See you later, Jan," and hoping that I would see you again, and feeling that I would, and happily I did, in the intensive care unit, and alive, and I still had a leg. And it took almost about quite a number of days for the bacterial infection to leave, with 4 surgeries and intravenous antibiotics. I was in the hospital all told about 3 weeks. When they did the surgery the first time, I asked my surgeon if I could have a Buddha taped on my heart. And she let me do that. So appreciative, Dr. Curley. Those of you may know her, plastic surgeon in Santa Cruz, that really saved my life. But there was a sense of sheltering in that I felt that if I was going to die, I was going to die with the Buddha in my heart. It was literally taped on my sternum, but inside the heart, like this sheltering into the Dharma. And even though, there's a lot of people that cared for me and loved me, and of course, because I loved them, there was still this whole space between me, myself, and I that was having that surgery that no one else was having. And so to invite in the Dharma within me to hold me in this time of great duress was incredible. This was taking refuge. This was a powerful refuge of And so I just want to invite you, particularly in this time of pandemic, that that's bringing up for many of us much more the reality of the mindfulness of death, the mindfulness of uncertainty, and what refuges and ways of support are here for us. So I just want to invite you, like, whatever refuge means to you, whatever awakening means to you, whatever the teachings of awakening mean to you, whatever the community that supports awakening for you, I want to invite you to get in touch. What does that mean to you? As a refuge, as a solace, as a place of safety. I invite you right now just to reflect upon that. Like, no doubt you're all sincere meditators. I've seen so many of you for years. Some newer, some, different lengths of time, but how these practices have been so important to you. They mean to you. And invite that in on a very conscious level. What these practices mean to you as a place of safety, of refuge, of protection, of and it's really powerful because the love of self is a very powerful love, and it's not many times that we want to give that up. I often say to my child, if you need a kidney, which one? But that's not to many people that I would say that to. We hold ourselves as really near and dear. And so some sense of this refuge of even aligning with something even more than yourself. Awakening, the teachings of awakening, the community that supports awakening, this is a very powerful gesture. So I just want to invite you to reflect upon this and to continue to reflect upon this. I've taken this type of refuge probably hundreds of times with my teacher, Tumpulu Sero and Langdit Sero. It's called the Saranagon. And what it means is, as long as life lasts, I take refuge in awakening. As long as life lasts, I take refuge in the teachings of awakening. As long as life lasts, I take refuge in the community that supports awakening, the qualities of the Buddha awakening, the Dharma, the teachings, the Sangha, the noble community. In whatever way that means to you, I just want to invite you to just take this in. This is a form of powerful inspiration. I remember one time working with a very devout practitioner that was dealing with some very horrendous trauma that was arising, and we realized we needed to bring out the heavy medicine, which was the triple gems. The most powerful of medicines, the Dharma, the teachings of the Dharma, the community that supports awakening. So I'd like to just invite you to reflect upon whatever the Buddha means to you, whatever the Dharma means to you, whatever the Sangha means to you. Awakening, teachings of awakening, the community that supports awakening, whatever it means to you. Let's just sit together and just take this in, what this means to you in your skin and your connective, your muscle, your connective tissue, your bones, your marrow, your being, organs. Just taking this sheltering in of the heart of goodness. And so I'd like to just chant some of the Pali, the Burmese version of Pali, of these refuges of the Saranagon. Isa adin katwa ham adanam bodhatha neyademi dhammata neyademi tangatha neyademi bodham taranam kichami zevita pariyantikam dhammam taranam kichami zevita pariyantikam tangam taranam kichami zevita pariyantikam Buddham Dharanam Kisami, Dhammam Dharanam Kisami, Tangam Saranam Tisami, Isa Adin Katawa Aham Adanam Bodhatha, Neyademi Tangata, Neyademi Tangata, Neyademi Zewita Pradiyandikam, Judiyampi Tadiyampi, Isa Adin Katawa Aham Adanam. Bodhatha neyademi dhammata neyademi tangata neyademi zevita pradyantikam. Bodham dharanam kichami, dhammam dharanam kichami, tangam dharanam kichami zevita pradyantikam. Bodham dharanam kichami, dhammam dharanam kichami, tangam dharanam kichami zevita pradyantikam. Isa adin katawa aham adanam bodhatha neyademi dhammata neyademi tangatha neyademi zevita pradyantikam bodham dharanam kichami dhammam dharanam kichami tangam dharanam kichami zevita pradyantikam Isa adin katawa Aham adanam bodham dharanam kichami dhammam dharanam kichami tangam dharanam kichami zevita pradyantikam dutiyampi tatiyampi Isa adin katawa aham adanam bodhatha neyademi tangata neyademi tangata neyademi Isa adin katawa aham adanam dutiyampi tatiyampi Isa adin katawa aham adanam bodhatha neyademi dhammatha neyademi thangatha neyademi zevita pradyantikam. Thadu, thadu, thadu. For as long as life lasts, taking refuge in awakening, for as long as life lasts, taking refuge in the teachings of awakening, for as long as life lasts, taking refuge in the community that supports awakening. For a second time, for a third time, for as long as life lasts, taking refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, for as long as life lasts, taking refuge in awakening and refuge in the teachings of awakening and the refuge of the community that supports awakening. So thank you very much for our time together. And I would like to invite you to just, in whatever way this means to you, what does it mean to hold refuge that supports you in the midst of it all? No matter what happens, it's in your heart. It can never be taken away. So thank you, and you be well.